Mhm.
All right, welcome to the Illinois Virtual College Exploration for all Illinois students. This is sponsored by the Illinois Association for College Admission Counseling and StriveScan. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Alexandra Altman and I'm your facilitator for tonight. And I just have a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A function to, it's on your screen to type questions to our presenter at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so we cannot see or hear you. And this is just one of many different sessions that are happening. So be sure to check out the full schedule at IACAC.org. This presentation is going to be recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website, IACAC.org. I'd now like to turn it over to Alex to do her presentation. Thanks so much.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. All right. Awesome. Okay, so my name is Alex Petrolia. I am an admission counselor from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. I primarily manage the Illinois area, so I'm super excited to be with you guys here today. I'm based out of Las Vegas. But a little bit about me, I was born and raised in Las Vegas. I attended UNLV myself, so I'm a UNLV alum, and I am very excited to share some information with you. So as you can see up on the screen, this is going to be a picture of campus. So we are in a pretty urban setting. We're located right in the middle of the city, so we're about 1.5 miles from the McCarran Airport. If you've ever flown into Las Vegas before, we're about 2 miles off the Las Vegas Strip that you may have seen in TV and movies. One of my favorite things to talk about is our diversity at UNLV. Like I mentioned before, I was born and raised in Las Vegas. I had no idea what diversity was until I left Las Vegas and I went somewhere that was not quite so diverse. Diversity is something that we take great pride in at UNLV, being one of the most diverse campuses in the nation. As you can see up on the screen, we have students coming from about 83 different countries. So the bigger the red dot, the more students we have coming from that particular country. Similarly, we have students coming from every single one of the states here in the United States. So there is a lot of different students on campus from different backgrounds in different places. We take a lot of pride in knowing that our students have the ability to learn from others that are different from themselves. We have over 300 different undergraduate and graduate degree programs at UNLV. I'm going to highlight a couple, but obviously 300 is a lot to choose from. So if you're interested in more specific majors, we offer a lot of virtual events that you can get involved with and view as far as more specific within those majors. Hospitality is one of our biggest majors at UNLV, being that we are in Las Vegas. We have the #1 hospitality program in the nation. So there is a lot of access to the industry right in your backyard at UNLV. We have 3 professional schools as well. So we have the only dental and law school in the state of Nevada. Our law school is top 60 in the nation, and we have the #1 legal writing program. We also have a medical school as well. So if you're interested in pursuing medicine, one of the most amazing things that our medical school has done for our students, they gave our inaugural 60 students full ride scholarships on the contingency that they would stay and practice in the Las Vegas area for their first 5 years of practice. They're looking to do that for 40% of the classes going through, which they have already done with the next couple of classes. So if you are interested in medicine, the medical degree is the Rolls Royce of degrees, as I like to say. It's a really great thing to keep in mind. We also have what's called the exploring major. I always highlight this major to my students just because you do not have to have it all figured out when you get to college. You don't need to know what exactly the field or degree program that you want to go into. At UNLV, what we have is the exploring major. Exploring majors are set up with academic advisors that are well versed in all of the majors. So they really talk you through what you're interested in, what you're passionate about, what majors equal what career paths, and getting you matched up with that major. We're also really big on cross-disciplinary study. So if you want to double major, major minor, or switch your major, that's definitely something that you can do at UNLV. We have a traditional honors college at UNLV. I don't think I mentioned how many students we have attending. We're a pretty big institution, so we have about 30,000 students attending UNLV. We have a traditional honors college. It is a selective undergraduate college for high achieving and highly motivated students. They take in about 350 students per cohort. So it's a pretty small cohort. It's like being on a small private institution on a large liberal arts campus. If you're interested in honors college, our priority deadline is going to be November 1st. So right there on the screen, that hyperlink is going to take you to more information about that application process. The next thing I'm going to talk about is study abroad. We have study abroad at UNLV. We are a part of an organization called USAC. We are a partnered founding member of USAC, which is an organization that allows our students to go to a lot of different places with different partnerships with other institutions. I like to talk about a couple misconceptions about study abroad, ones that I believed in as a student that I do not want you to believe in. One of them being that it's completely unaffordable. So your financial aid package at UNLV follows you wherever you decide to go and study abroad. So any of those scholarships, aid that you're receiving is going to follow you while you study abroad. The study abroad office also helps you apply to different scholarships to further fund your experience. I also thought that I might not graduate in 4 years, and that's absolutely false. So you're set up with an academic advisor to ensure that the classes that you're taking while you're studying abroad are going towards your degree program. The last misconception is I thought that I might have to take classes in that particular language in order to go to that country. That is not required. So your classes that you'll be taking while you're studying abroad will most likely be in English if that's what you're choosing. And you can be immersed in the culture and the language while you're there. The next thing I'm going to talk about is unique academic programs. One of our most unique academic programs at UNLV is the Entertainment, Engineering, and Design degree. It is a cross between two disciplines, the College of Fine Arts and the College of Engineering. I like to think of it as our very Vegas degree, but it far extends the Las Vegas Valley as far as what you can do with it. If you've ever seen Ninja Warrior on TV, one of our most recent grads from this program is the course designer for Ninja Warrior. So that is something that you could get involved with this unique program. That next picture on the screen is a picture of Haley Dawson. We are an R1 institution. We have a Carnegie classification of R1. And if you don't know what that means, it basically means that we have very high research activity going on our institution. It's a pretty prestigious classification. Only about 130 institutions across the United States have it, and we're one of them at UNLV. We're very excited about that. We're a pretty young institution. We were founded in 1957. So one thing that I highlight with that R1 designation is that because we're so young, our undergraduate students really have the ability to get involved with that research, and that's very much a focus at our institution. So getting involved very early on is something that you can do. We actually had 2 freshmen get published with their professors, which is pretty exciting. So that is something that you could get involved with as well. Last thing that I'm going to touch on is internships. We are very internship focused at UNLV. The majority of our academic curriculum requires that you do internships as a part of your undergraduate degree program. We are the only major 4-year institution in Las Vegas. When you think about Las Vegas, we're a large metropolitan city. So being the only major 4-year institution, our students really have first dibs on any professional opportunity within the city and extending the city as well. We're a very global town in Las Vegas, very much a melting pot. So your connections that you're making through these internships are going to far extend the Las Vegas Valley. One of my students that come to mind, she got an internship with Twitter. So the headquarters was in San Francisco. She would fly out there from time to time. She now manages that internship. So that's something where it might not be within our city, but with the connections at UNLV that you can get outside of being in Las Vegas as well. All right. One of our biggest traditions is UNLV Premiere. It is a huge kickoff to the year. It just gets everyone together really to celebrate the start of the year. There are all of our student organizations and clubs are there. There's food trucks. It's a really fun event. I usually have a student panel on with me, and my favorite thing is to listen to them talk about Premiere because every single one of them will talk about how they found some of their best friends at Premiere that were, from across the country or from a different country. And it's a really, really great place for the UNLV community to come together. The next thing I'm going to talk about is clubs and organizations. So we have about 400 different clubs and organizations at UNLV. So there is a lot to choose from. Anything from the Greek life, so all 4 councils of Greek life, whether it's the kind of social ones that you see on TV to more community service-based groups, so sororities, fraternities. We have academic societies and groups. We have special interest groups as well. Those are my favorite to highlight. We have the Pizza Enthusiast Club. So they are funded to try the different pizza across the Las Vegas Valley and argue which ones are better and if pineapple should be on pizza. And because this is a virtual event, I can say that it can, and I won't get booed off stage like I normally do. And the last one that I like to highlight is the Lightsaber Duelist Society. So if you're into Star Wars, Lightsaber Duelist Society has about 90 active members on campus. So they are a pretty big group, pretty big presence within a club. One thing that I also really like is that if you find out of all those clubs and organizations, you can't find one that quite fits exactly what you're looking for, you and 5 friends can start up your own student-run club or organization and leave your own legacy at UNLV. That's something I've been working with one of my students, for example, to be their faculty advisor. She was heavily impacted by breast cancer. She recently lost her mom to breast cancer, and she wanted to make a organization that was kind of like a safe house for any student who had been affected by cancer and doing things for the cancer community here in Las Vegas. So really ranges, and you have the ability to really make it your own as well. The last thing I'll talk about is athletics. We are a Division I institution. Our 17 varsity sports play in the Mountain West Conference. One of the most exciting things to happen recently is that the Raiders have relocated to Las Vegas. They built the NFL stadium for the Raiders, and our football team will actually be playing in Allegiant Stadium. So we're one of 16 schools that get to play in an NFL stadium. We're very excited about that. For any of our sports across the board, students get free tickets to any home games. So you're able to go to football games, basketball games, soccer, baseball, anything home game across the board, you get to go for free as a student. You also get discounted tickets for any friends or family as well. Usually in these presentations, I'll have some dads in the room that are very excited about the football that are like, you're getting me a ticket. So that's something that you're able to utilize as well. I also like to mention some of our club sports too. So if you're not quite into those NCAA D1 sports and you want something that's still a little bit competitive, travel to play, we do have club sports. We also have intramural sports as well. So maybe you've never played this sport before, but you want to go with a group of friends and play and learn how to play. That's something that we have as well. Okay, this is my favorite slide in the entire slideshow. This is a question I get a lot being an out-of-state admission counselor, and it is, what is there to do in Las Vegas? The easiest way to answer that is a lot. As a Las Vegas native, my favorite things to mention are the nature opportunities, because those aren't quite things you think of when you think about Las Vegas. We do have Red Rock National Park. It's about 40 minutes from campus. That's going to be that top left-hand picture on the screen. It should be the guy on the bike. But it is a really great place to go and hike. There is great biking trails. There's great rock climbing at Red Rock. There is also a really great, beautiful scenic loop. So maybe you're not the type of person that wants to get out of the car to see nature, but you want to see it through the window. It reminds me of Cars Land at Disneyland for anyone who has ever been. It's beautiful. So it's a really nice loop to go around there. Bottom right-hand corner, this is something that I always like to really emphasize, is our our temperature in Las Vegas. So we have very moderate winters. There are no snow down here in the valley, but we do get snow at a higher altitude at Mount Charleston, which is about 45 minutes away from campus. So you're escaping that really cold winter weather down here in the valley, but you are able to access those winter sports if that's something you're into, as far as snowboarding, skiing, sledding. There's a really great lodge for hot chocolate too. I like Mount Charleston in the summertime when it's really hot down here in the valley. It's a great place to escape the heat and go on some trails. That top right-hand corner is going to be the Smith Center. So we've had a couple of Broadway shows come through town. So if that's something that you like, we have cultural music festivals. We are actually the cultural and music festival capital of the world. We have the most amount of concerts put on per resident capita. I know that may not seem believable for these last 6 months, but in the future, it will come back to us being #1. So I haven't met a student that hates music. So that is definitely something our students really enjoy, is being able to access any of the genres very close to campus as well. We're becoming a sports town. So we have a number of different sports that our students like to go and watch as well. So the Vegas Golden Knights is our hockey team. I already mentioned the Raiders here in Las Vegas. We have a triple affiliate baseball team, the Aviators, the Lights, the soccer team, and a professional women's basketball team as well, the Aces. We are also home to the UFC. So if you're into martial arts, this is the home for that. So there is a million things to access here in Las Vegas. The last thing that I will mention on this slide is if you're a foodie, this is a great place. As I've mentioned before, we're very much a melting pot here in Las Vegas. So you can only imagine the kinds of different food that is offered in different businesses, as far as coffee too. One of my favorite things is trying different coffee in town in different coffee shops. So there is a lot to access within the city and right around the city as well. Okay, so this next slide has some of our resources that we have on campus. The first one that I'm going to talk about is the Academic Success Center. That's the picture at the top. Academic Success Center offers free tutoring for any of your classes. So there has not been a time where the Academic Success Center has gotten a request for a class that they haven't been able to set up for, or set you up with a tutor. So any of your classes at UNLV, you are able to get assistance within the tutoring center. I always like to tell a little bit of a story about myself. It's embarrassing. It definitely exposes my inability to connect with mathematics, but I think it's applicable to any resource on campus. When I was a freshman at UNLV, I got straight A's and I failed math. I really dislike math, and math really dislikes me. My academic advisor really wanted me to go to tutoring. It's not something that I wanted to do. I was very stubborn, independent. I'm a first-generation college student. I was like, I can figure it out by myself. I will pass the next time. One failed math test in, I found myself in tutoring against my will that next week. It ended up being a great semester though. I ended up passing the class. I utilized tutoring for a number of different classes just to get deeper with content and receive that assistance. The big thing with resources is that knowing that they're there for you and being willing to access them. They are nice, they want to see you succeed, but you have to be willing to go to them as a student. So the next one I'm going to talk about is career services. We actually have what's called Hire a Rebel, which is a portal exclusively for UNLV students for any on-campus jobs or any internships. It's a place where only UNLV students are able to go to see all of these different partnerships and different opportunities on campus or around campus as well. Career Services also does resume writing workshops, cover letter workshops. They also do mock interviews. So they do a lot of really, really great things to help prepare you for that next step. The next one I'm going to talk about is counseling and psychological services. We call them CAPS at UNLV. So that is located within the rec center, which is that bottom picture. So the Health and Wellness Center, the rec center, is that bottom picture. It is a beautiful building. It is five different stories. There is everything that you would think of in a modern gym, as far as a cardio floor, a rock climbing wall, a full swimming pool. There is free weights. There is different classes that you can take. There's racquetball courts, basketball courts, you name it, it's in there. There is also our counseling and psychological services. There's also a pharmacy in there as well. So you are able to see a nurse or doctor for any minor ailments. You're also able to fulfill prescriptions there as well, which I think is super important to know, that you don't have to ever leave campus for anything if you don't want to. The next resource is the Disability Resource Center. So if you are on a 504 or you're receiving any accommodations in classes, you are able to utilize the Disability Resource Center, the DRC as we like to call it, and they will help you get those accommodations. The last ones that I'm going to mention are a fan favorite, the library. Usually when a student goes on a campus tour at UNLV, I ask them what their favorite part of the tour was, and 9 times out of 10, it is the library. It is a beautiful space. It's a really, really great place to go and study, and to be an environment that there is a lot of energy of studying as well. There's a really great view of the Strip from the library too. So that is one of every student's favorite resource on campus. And then the last one that I'm going to highlight is Veteran Services. So we are a military friendly institution. So if you're using any benefits, or if you're using any of mom or dad's or legal guardians benefits, that's something that you can do at UNLV as well. And I think I'm going to move on. Okay, campus housing. So we have traditional residence halls on campus. There is, up on the screen, you can see the cost per semester. So the dining plans can kind of range depending on which one that you choose. We have a traditional like Jack and Jill setup. So you and a roommate are set up with another 2 roommates and you share a bathroom. So it's not community bathrooms, it's Jack and Jill style. We do require students to live on campus for their freshman year. Following that, you're able to stay on campus if you want to live in the upperclassmen dorms. There are student apartment style living right around campus as well. Those are brand new. I will tell you for a fact, I was very bitter when I saw them last summer and walked through them because I wish they were there when I was a student. But they're a really, really, really beautiful place to live right on campus if you want your own room, own bathroom, and like a kitchen too. Okay, so this is going to be the nitty gritty. This is as far as what we're looking for admission requirements. We're looking for students to meet one of 3 things. We've always been test optional at UNLV. We are still test optional. So ultimately we are looking for that 3.0 weighted core GPA. If you do not have the GPA, you can also be admitted with an 1120 SAT or a 22 ACT if you've had the opportunity to take those exams. If you're thinking about transferring to UNLV, we're looking for a 2.5 GPA and at least 24 transferable college credits. Okay, so up on the screen for that out-of-state tuition and fees, you're looking at about $24,258 based off of 15 credits per semester. Now, this price is not including room and board. So with room and board, it's about topped out. It's about a little over 11,000, depending on what meal plan that you choose. So you're looking at about 35,000 without any financial aid and scholarships. The good news is about 75% of our students receive financial aid and scholarships. So I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about that. As you can see up on the screen, it's a little bit blurry. One thing that I will mention before I talk about this particular program is that our scholarships are 4-year renewable and stackable. So if you get them your freshman year at UNLV, you know that they are going to, you're going to have them for all 4 years as long as you continue to meet those renewability requirements. You're also going to be able to stack them on top of each other with other awards that you may be receiving. They're going to be adjusted by that. Now, as you can see, this shows under construction. This is our traditional freshman grid. This is a program we are still having, but in order to be fair and equitable, the students who have not had the ability to take ACT or SAT or have had the ability or haven't had the ability to retake, this is still being determined on how it is going to be awarded. The biggest thing that you need to know is meeting our priority deadline in order to ensure that you're considered for this program. And the other 2, valedictorian, that's worth $1,000 per year. And then the President's Scholarship for National Merit finalists is worth $10,000 per year. Now, in order to be considered for our scholarships, we require that you're admitted, you have a FAFSA or alternate need form on file by our priority deadline. Ultimately, that is what you will need to do in order to be considered for these merit-based awards. This next one I'm going to talk about is Rebel Challenge. This is our regional scholarship. It's going to be based on that 11,000 annually. So it's tiered. They tier it up to 11,000. It's going to be based off your GPA. All you will need to do is make sure, like I said before, submit your application, make sure you're admitted, and have FAFSA or the alternate need form on file if you're not able to fill out the FAFSA. Okay, I've already said a little bit about the FAFSA. Free application for federal student aid. We do require we have it on file in order for you to be considered for merit-based aid, even though it's not need-based. If you're not able to fill out the FAFSA, like I have mentioned before, we do offer the alternate need form as well. One thing that I will mention is if you're having trouble filling out the FAFSA, we are doing workshops at UNLV in the next couple of weeks in order to do a step-by-step filling out the FAFSA. So if you're unsure about that, definitely go to our website. I'm going to be showing a slide a little bit later on that's going to have our direct calendar, so you could register for that. So just know that we are here to help you. We can walk you through it step by step. Okay, so if you're a professional procrastinator like myself, this is a slide you're going to want to pay attention to. That November 1 deadline is coming very, very soon. So priority deadline for scholarship consideration is November 1st. We are on rolling admission at UNLV. So that is our priority deadline for scholarship consideration, but our application is open all the way until June 1st for fall admissions if you are wanting to apply past that time. And if you're looking to enroll for spring, I know I've had a lot of students ask about that lately. Our application deadline is January 1st. And if you're looking to transfer, August 1st. Okay, this is what I was talking about as far as our hyperlink to our virtual calendar of any events that UNLV is holding. It's at the bottom of the screen, the unlv.today/events. That is how you will register for any of those UNLV specific ones. I know I mentioned earlier, I kind of grazed over the majors, and we offer a lot of majors, and there are going to be a lot of virtual events that are very specific to the major. So if you're interested in learning more about that, that's where you're going to register for those as well. My favorite mode of social media is Instagram, and that is something I'm going to encourage you to follow. Our Instagram, UNLV admissions. There is a lot of great content. I know it's super hard to get a feel for different universities and what their campus is like. We have been posting a lot of really great content to kind of get a feel for campus and what campus looks like and different clubs and organizations. So it's definitely a really great thing to go and follow. Really great information on there as well. Okay. This is the last slide. I am your admission counselor. So you can feel free to contact me. I'm going to be getting all of your information today, so I will go ahead and reach out to you. But you can find me right on this website as well. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing because I can't see anything that might be in the chat. If anyone has any questions and wants to put them in the chat, we'll go ahead and leave a couple minutes.
I can go ahead and put the last slide up while we're waiting and seeing if there's any questions. Can you see that slide? Yeah, okay. Great job, Alex. I now want to go to UNLV.
Awesome.
That was so fun. So fun to learn more about it. I did not know you were the top school for hospitality.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah. I actually shared that with my my cousin's husband is a teacher in Michigan, hospitality chef. So
awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if you work with students from Michigan or not, but.
Oh, I do.
Great.
Yes, all of that area. I'm actually covering most of the US this year too.
Oh,
so send them my way.
I will indeed. Great. Well, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Alex, you did a great job, and I hope everybody now wants to go to UNLV. I will just share that that we are so happy you could join us, and there's going to be a link to a very quick 4-question survey when we close this webinar. We appreciate any feedback that you are able to provide. Also, this is just one of the many sessions. Hopefully you've been tuning in. So be sure to sign up for additional ones at IACAC.org. And in about a week, you'll find a link to this session's recording if you want to go back and view any of the content. So again, everything's available at IACAC.org. Thanks so much for everything tonight, and great job, Alex.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.